Let's be real for a second. The sheer amount of content out there right now is, well, it's completely overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. It's a flood.
Right. I mean, everyone is just fighting tooth and nail for attention. And people are scattered across, way more apps and feeds than they ever have been before.
Yeah, the fragmentation is real. You've got audiences literally everywhere now.
Exactly. And keeping up with all of that, if you're out there trying to build a brand, it really feels less like a cohesive strategy and way more like pure survival mode.
Just trying to keep your head above water on a daily basis.
Exactly. You're just trying to survive the algorithm.
Mm.
So today we are jumping right into our mission for this deep dive. And we're going to explore a concept that honestly, it might sound too good to be true at first.
Yeah, it definitely has that vibe to it.
A bit shady, maybe.
And
So
hey,
stay with me here. We are talking about the reality of post once appear everywhere.
which is the holy grail, really.
It is. But we have this fascinating source document today. It's a synthesis of insights simply titled Text Calle. And it breaks down exactly how artificial intelligence is completely flipping the content distribution process on its head.
The way AI pulls this off, it's nuts. It really is.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because the core problem is that sheer volume we just talked about. If you're still posting and copy-pasting everything by hand across 6 different apps, you're drowning.
And you probably know you're drowning, too.
Yeah, you feel it in your bones. But AI isn't just a buzzword here, right? We're not just blasting the exact same post everywhere.
No, not at all. And that's what we really need to clarify today. This AI actually tweaks your message for a LinkedIn crowd or a TikTok swipe or someone's inbox all on its own.
No rewrites needed.
Right, 0 manual rewrites. So I want to ask you, the listener, to keep this question in your head as we go through this. What stands out to you about your own daily digital grind? Like, where is your biggest bottleneck?
Because whatever that bottleneck is, the source material argues that AI doesn't just shift the game here, it flips the entire table.
It's a massive structural shift.
So to really grasp how radical this is, the insights draw a very sharp line. They compare how big businesses have traditionally used AI and how we are using it now for content.
Yeah, let's look at the traditional enterprise use first. For years, businesses have used AI to, sort out global supply chains, speed up decisions, spot real-time trends.
Like heavy-duty logistics stuff.
Exactly. Sifting through literal mountains of data to forecast demand. So companies like Amazon or Walmart, they use predictive AI to see that, say, a specific neighborhood in Seattle is going to need umbrellas 3 days before a massive storm hits.
Right. So it handles the logistics, cuts the waste, and saves money.
Yes, and it reacts as fast as the market moves. But what's fascinating here is the pivot.
Yeah.
The bigger shift is that AI now knows how to talk to people.
Wait, expand on that. What do you mean it knows how to talk to people?
Well, we're moving from logistical AI moving boxes to communicative AI. It's using machine learning to figure out what each individual person actually cares about.
Oh, wow. Okay, I love this analogy. If traditional marketing was basically a warehouse where you just shipped out identical ads in bulk and hoped someone bought them.
Which is incredibly inefficient, by the way.
Right. But if AI can perfectly predict when a physical store needs more umbrellas before a storm, it's now doing the exact same thing with our attention.
Yes, exactly that.
It's predicting exactly what kind of message you need right when you're ready to read it, instead of blasting the same generic message at everyone.
Which is how brand loyalty actually starts now. It's why companies keep coming up with these sharper, faster distribution tricks. It sends the right intellectual material to the exact right digital environment.
So if it understands what we want, how does it actually deliver it without sounding like a total robot? Because that leads us right into the end of copy-paste.
Right. The promise of this new system.
The source material talks about setting up a pipeline where your posts go to Insta, LinkedIn, email, TikTok, all effortlessly. And the AI figures out how to format and tailor everything to match the platform.
It adapts it completely.
But let me play devil's advocate here for a second. Because auto-posting usually sucks.
Oh, historically, it's been terrible.
Yeah. It's robotic, it's spammy. You see a tweet that's clearly an Instagram caption cut off halfway through, ending with a broken link and like 30 irrelevant hashtags.
Shouting the exact same message into the void usually flops. We all know that.
So how is this actually different from those old clunky syndication tools?
If we connect this to the bigger picture detailed in the text, it's about active intelligence. We're not blasting the same thing everywhere. The algorithms are actively tracking time, they're tracking engagement.
So it's not a static copy-paste.
No, the AI acts as a translator, Think about semantic. You feed the system your core brand guidelines, your terminology, your values.
So it creates a mathematical representation of who I am.
Right. A brand vector. And when it goes to translate your post for a new platform, it separates the premise of your message from the syntax.
Wait, give me an example of that. What is the premise versus the syntax?
Okay, the premise is the core data, your opinion, your underlying logic. That stays locked in. But the syntax, the sentence length, the vocabulary, the visual layout, that is fluid.
Ah, okay. So if my core value is, say, authoritative financial advice.
The AI knows it cannot use hyper-casual slang on TikTok because that violates your brand vector, but it finds a way to deliver that authoritative advice using rapid pacing and visual hooks.
That makes so much sense. It ensures the posts land right where and when they should without compromising who you are. And for you listening, think about your time.
It's the most valuable asset you have.
Exactly. Less effort means more visibility. You aren't stuck repeating yourself or manually retyping the same insight 5 different ways.
You're letting the machine do the heavy translation.
But why does it matter so much that the message is tailored? I mean, why go multi-platform at all?
Well, because every digital room has a completely different vibe. The source breaks down the unique ecosystem of each platform, and it's so important to understand this.
Let's run through them. Because posting to every major channel means more eyes, more engagement, and more people who know your name.
And no one hangs out in just one place anymore. You don't get all your news, entertainment, and networking from one app.
Right. So according to the text, Instagram is all about those polished visuals and quick hits.
Very aesthetic driven.
Then you have Twitter, or X, snappy thoughts. Short, sharp, high velocity.
It wants immediate reactions and debate.
LinkedIn is expertise, depth, business talk. Getting chatty in the comments.
Yes, it wants to keep you on the platform reading deep insights.
TikTok is fun, fast video clips. Facebook is storytelling, images, a mix of video. Pinterest is purely eye-catching graphics, like a visual search engine.
And Reddit is deep dives. And they hate slick corporate marketing.
They will downvote you to oblivion if you sound like an ad.
Exactly. So if you bring a long, deeply nuanced essay to TikTok, the algorithm suppresses it. If you bring a fast-paced viral video to LinkedIn, it might feel totally out of place.
Here's where it gets really interesting. This multi-platform approach, it's basically like going to a party.
How so?
Well, you wouldn't wear a tuxedo to a beach bonfire, right? That's TikTok. You'd look ridiculous.
That's a great way to look at it.
And you wouldn't wear a swimsuit to a corporate board meeting on LinkedIn. The best brands remix their message for each channel so it always looks appropriate but fresh.
And that ties right back into consistency, which is a huge point in the source text.
Yeah, how do you stay consistent if you're wearing different outfits to different parties?
Because consistency isn't just about looking identical everywhere. When the look, the voice, and the underlying message line up perfectly, even when remixed for the platform, it builds deep brand recognition.
Right, the intellectual signature is the same.
Exactly. Your visuals and your tone become a signature. And keeping promises, showing up on time, it earns trust.
Eventually, you get fans to do the heavy lifting of sharing your content for you.
They become your advocates. Okay, so knowing how to talk on these platforms is great. We remix the content. But how do we actually know if anyone is listening?
That's where the numbers come in. But not the old way of looking at numbers.
We're talking about real-time AI pattern matching. The secret is in the data.
And AI goes way deeper than typical analytics. We're talking about getting way beyond the surface level.
Because traditional analytics are, well, they're basically postmortem data, right?
Yes. You run a campaign for a month, you export a spreadsheet, and you look at how many likes you got.
Which is like checking the weather report for last Tuesday. It might be interesting, but it doesn't tell you if you need an umbrella today.
That is exactly the problem with traditional dashboards. But the imperative here is to dive into the data while it's happening. AI isn't just skimming, it's watching how people move through the content. What does that mean? Move through it. Like, literally.
Yes. It monitors scroll depth. How far down a page does a user read before they get bored? It tracks video completion rates, finding the exact microsecond where people swipe away.
Oh, wow. So if I have a question, if the data tells us that Mondays at noon get wild engagement, or that images absolutely crush it while videos flop on my page,
Yeah.
how do we keep up with that without staring at a screen 24/7?
You don't stare at the screen. The AI does. It's real-time feedback.
So it's constantly adjusting.
Yes, it acts like a personal assistant who never sleeps. It finds out what's trending and adjusts the approach. If it sees that a specific text overlay makes people drop off a video at 5 seconds, it notes that.
And then it fixes it for the next one.
Autonomously, it points out what to tweak for the next campaign, helping you pivot your game plan while the play is still live.
The result is content that feels so customized, the text says, it's like you're reading minds.
Because it perfectly anticipates the exact formatting and depth of information a user wants at a specific moment.
That is incredible.
Yep.
And honestly, a huge relief. Because with AI acting as this ultimate sleepless data analyst, the human team is finally freed up to do what they actually do best.
Which brings us to the core promise of the document. Less pain, more storytelling.
Yes. Because building a steady flow of content shouldn't be a grind. It shouldn't destroy your soul.
It really shouldn't, and yet for so many people, it does.
Right. So automation covers all the boring stuff. Scheduling the posts, snagging the analytics, tracking KPIs, auto-replying to simple customer questions in the DMs.
It even churns out quick drafts based on your past published content.
But let me push back on that for a second. If the AI is checking the data, scheduling the posts, translating the syntax, and even writing the quick drafts, what exactly are we supposed to do?
It's the classic existential fear. Are we obsolete?
Exactly. Am I just managing my own replacement?
This raises an important question, but the text specifically addresses this. It reassures us that you let the bot handle the basics so human creators can focus on making stuff that matters.
Real storytelling.
Yes, real strategy. Look, formatting a video into 5 different aspect ratios, that's mechanical labor. It drains your cognitive energy.
It's exhausting.
But the human provides the one element the machine fundamentally lacks: the lived experience. The AI has never led a team or navigated a crisis or built a business from scratch.
So you provide the raw, authentic narrative, the unique opinion, and you hand that core narrative to the AI.
Right, and the AI builds the stage for you across every platform.
For you listening, think about your daily life. This means having solid workflows, using collaboration tools and templates, moving fast, adapting easily, and finally filling a calendar without burning out.
It's about separating the mechanical labor from the creative labor.
The tech is clearly there.
Yeah.
The workflows are totally clear.
Yeah.
And this is a big but, there's a massive psychological barrier to actually using it.
Oh, absolutely. Overcoming the overwhelm is the hardest part.
Because managing channels, maintaining brand voice, dealing with endless algorithm changes, it's overwhelming. And people get stretched so thin when a platform shifts its rules.
And it feels weird to hand over control to AI. People prefer what's comfortable.
Even if what's comfortable is a completely exhausting manual grind, you know exactly why a post went out at 2 p.m. because you clicked the button yourself.
It's the anxiety of relinquishing control. But we have to validate that anxiety while pointing out the stark reality from the text.
Which is?
Content isn't getting easier, demand won't slow down, people aren't magically paying more attention to you.
The fragmentation of the digital landscape is permanent.
Yes. Waiting too long means getting stuck playing catch-up. If you insist on maintaining manual control over every single permutation across every platform, you will hit a mathematical ceiling on your growth.
So what does this all mean? How do we actually overcome that barrier without having a panic attack?
The source distills it down to very practical advice. Start with one tool and one platform.
Just one.
Just one. Give it a shot. Keep it simple and watch the numbers.
That makes sense. Isolate a variable. Take a platform where you have low engagement right now or where posting is just a huge manual friction for you.
Implement an AI distribution tool just for that channel. Provide your core content and let the system handle the dynamic translation for a month.
And then you just watch the data. You let the system prove its competence to you.
Once you see the reach grow without the burnout, without you having to manually format a dozen different posts, you won't want to go back.
The psychological barrier just breaks.
Completely. The future is wide open for creators who jump in and let the AI do the heavy lifting.
It really is a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
We're moving from a state of pure survival shouting identically into half a dozen different rooms to a state of strategic, highly leveraged storytelling.
It resolves the distribution bottleneck entirely.
So to summarize what we've covered today, post once, appear everywhere is no longer a scammy myth. It's a tangible reality powered by AI translation.
It's about letting the tech handle the grunt work.
Exactly. Reclaim your creativity and actually build trust with your audience by showing up correctly everywhere they hang out.
But, before we wrap up, there is one final thought we should probably mull over. Something that builds on all this material.
Oh, I like where this is going. What are you thinking?
Well, if AI is acting like this perfect mind reader, perfectly tailoring every single brand's message
Wow. That is, yeah, what happens to it?
in a world where every single piece of content you encounter has been algorithmically optimized to cater to what you already like and how you already think, how will truly new, completely unexpected ideas break through the noise?
If the AI is trained to eliminate all the friction of consumption, do we lose the friction that actually causes genuine intellectual growth?
Exactly. Escaping our own customized, perfectly formatted echo chambers becomes the new challenge.
That is a phenomenal and honestly slightly unsettling question to close on, something for all of us to really explore on our own. But for your immediate reality, the homework is clear. Take that one small step. Pick one tool, integrate it with one platform, and let the AI shoulder the mechanical burden for you this week. Give it a try. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you on the next one.